A very good evening and welcome. This is Primetime News on TV1. I'm Ramesh Bandara.
And I'm Zeenat Musafir. Let's take a look at your headlines for tonight.
National Elections Commission requests that the law be upheld during the period of hiatus. 300,000 state officials deployed for presidential election duty. Ballot boxes to be transported tomorrow morning. Holiday for all government schools tomorrow. Sajid pledges a political culture without vengeance. Gotabaya pledges for a clean governance.
The final rally of the presidential candidate of the New Democratic Front, Sajid Premadasa, was held last evening in Maradana.
Sajid, 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 Sajid. मैं मिही तालये रटमा एकट एक बनाद दिनये Lucia dahasin hadavat banduna ekva idiriya yana maga haduna ekva idiriyata yana maga haduna hadin hada hidin hida mulu nagara nagara gambim basa obat mamat mulu rakat kada ada ekva nagamu jaya jaya gosha hadin hada hidin hida mulu nagara nagara gambim basa obat mamat mulu rakat kada ekva nagamu jaya jaya gosha.
Ministers, MPs and leaders of political parties supporting the presidential candidate of the New Democratic Front addressed the final rally last evening. Hema Premadasa, the mother of Sajid Premadasa, also attended the rally.
As the son of late Ranasinghe Premadasa, I will not keep room for any racism and hatred within the government from the 16th of November. No matter how much they shout and scream, on the 16th of November there will be only one result, and that is the victory of the Swan. I will not engage in any political revenge after my victory. We will create a new political culture and a new political system within the country and make Sri Lanka an example to the international community. I recall how the people of Colombo brought victory to Ranasinghe Premadasa in 77. My wish and objective is to obtain votes higher than what Ranasinghe Premadasa obtained in 1977. After my victory on the 16th, I, as your future president, will protect this country and develop it.
සියලුම දෙනා රකින්නවා රට සංවර්ධනය කරනවා කියලා පොරොන්දු වෙමින් සියලු දෙනාටම ජය වේවා.
අපි දිනනවා සජිත් ජනාධිපති වෙනවා.
We will win and Sajid Premadasa will be elected as the next president of this country. There is nothing new to say about Sajid Premadasa. Central Colombo knows very well about Ranasinghe Premadasa and his son Sajid Premadasa. Now you must think about your future. This is the chance to establish freedom in the country and to develop our nation. We will take Sri Lanka towards development. We are not prepared to hand over this country to Rajapaksas again. We will not give rise to that terrifying era again.
දෙන්න බෑ. ඒ භයානක යුගය ඇති කරන්නේ.
Gotabaya Rajapaksa has failed to present any document that proves he renounced his US citizenship. The US government has remained silent on this matter. America is controlling Gotabaya in every possible way. The US government can freely come forward and reveal whether Gotabaya Rajapaksa renounced his US citizenship or not, but the US government remains silent. They do not utter a single word in this regard as they have held Gotabaya Rajapaksa as their main bait. We cannot let anyone control our country. We cannot allow a US citizen to control our country and hand over this nation to the USA.
අද ගෝඨාභය රාජපක්ෂට
Can Gotabaya Rajapaksa contest the presidential election? For the first time in Sri Lankan history, a US citizen is contesting at the presidential election. For the first time, an individual who murdered and looted has been nominated as a presidential candidate. If he is to travel overseas, he must request for his passport from courts. Can such a candidate even be considered as competition to Sajith Premadasa? No. Do you know why? Because no one can point a finger at Sajith Premadasa for any wrongdoing. I request all the youth casting their vote for the first time, do not let this election be the first and last time you cast your vote. Remember, if this country is handed over to the Rajapaksa monsters, this will be your first and last election. Should we vote for a US citizen or Sri Lankan citizen? Their entire family is in two places. If they win, they remain in Sri Lanka. If they lose, they leave to the USA. Sajith only has one place to go, and that is Sri Lanka, which I state with much pride. Sajith Premadasa is determined to change the political culture in this country. He has decided to change the view our youth have about the political system in our country. Just like people around the world speak of Lee Kuan Yew and Mahathir Mohamad, in another 5 years, people will speak about our own homegrown leader, Sajith Premadasa.
Sajith Premadasa ගැන ලෝකයම කතා කරන දවසක් ඒවි කියලා විශ්වාසයක් ඇති කරගන්න. අපිට ඉන්නවා.
We have with us a leader of a new generation. He has a new vision, a new set of plans and a new team. This is why Sajith Premadasa said he will not appoint any corrupt individual to his cabinet. He also said he will not allow any minister to appoint any family member to state positions. This is a new start, a new journey. Our leader is a man with a new vision and a strategy. Let us all vote for Sajith Premadasa on the 16th and elect him as the future president of this country.
පවුලේ කෙනෙක්වත් රජයේ තනතුරකට පත් කරන්න මම ඉඩ තියන්නෙත් නෑ. මේක අලුත් ගමනක්.
After launching his political campaign, Sajith Premadasa continuously challenged Gotabaya Rajapaksa for an open debate. He then said even his brother can accompany him for the open debate. Where do you find such presidential candidates in the world? But he never accepted the challenge. Afterwards, as a last resort, Sajith Premadasa volunteered to come for the debate at the Rajapaksa house in Madamulana. But did they accept the challenge? The political campaigns are now over, but Gotabaya Rajapaksa is still in hiding.
Sajith Premadasa මහත්තයා කිව්වා මම තනියම මැදමුණන උඹලගේ වලව්වේ සාලෙට එන්නම් උඹලා වරෙල්ලා කියලා කිව්වද නැද්ද? ඒත් ආවද? කැම්පේන් එක ඉවරයි. Gotabaya මහත්තයා තාම හැංගිලා.
Gotabaya Rajapaksa මහත්තයා කියන්නේ
Gotabaya Rajapaksa not only ran away to the United States of America but refused our country and obtained the citizenship of the USA. Even today it has been proven that Gotabaya Rajapaksa is still a US citizen. He has failed to prove that he renounced his US citizenship. He fooled the general public by showing fake documents and passports, and he is now trying to fool the country in the remaining few hours.
Gotabaya Rajapaksa මහත්තයා තවමත් මේ අන්තිම පෑ දෙක තුනෙත් මේ රටේ ජනතාව මුලා කරන්න හදනවා.
After the conclusion of the final rally, Sajith Premadasa engaged in a cordial discussion with the announcers and technicians who covered the event and left the premises.
හරිත මිනිසත්කම වපුරා දූවිලි පොළොවෙත් ජීවය පතුරා මිනිසත් පවුරක් සබැඳි රට රැකුණා එක්ව ඉදිරියට යන මඟ හැදුනා එක්ව ඉදිරියට යන මඟ හැදුනා හරින් හර හිතින් හිත
The final rally of presidential candidate Gotabaya Rajapaksa was held yesterday in Homagama.
විශ්වය පුරා විහිදී ගියා බුදු ජන ජයරාවේ අපි වෙනුවෙන් අපි අතරම නැගෙන බලාපොරොත්තු.
The public rally was held at the public grounds in Homagama. The final rally in support of Gotabaya Rajapaksa was themed Sarthaka Dakmak Vadakarana Rata, a successful vision, a working country. The rally, which was organised by MP Bandula Gunawardana, saw the participation of a number of politicians, artists, experts and supporters.
ලෙසින් ඉස්කම්මව එළයේ අභිමානේ පෙන්වා දෙමින් මුළු ලොව දින අප හා යන ගමනේ නොවනම් වැසි යදන විරුවාරනේ
දැන් අට පුදුමේ හාමුදුරනේ මම ඉපදුනේත් පාලටුවේ මාතර පාලටුවේ මම හිතන්නේ මේකේ හුඟක් අය ඉන්නවා මේ පැත්තේ මාතර පාලටුව දැන් ප්‍රශ්නයක් වෙලා තියෙනවා මාතර පාලටුව තියෙන්නේ ඇමරිකාවේද කියලා
I wonder if Palatua in Mathura is part of America. These people talk as if Palatua is in Los Angeles. I first have to mention there is nothing that needs to be discussed on this citizenship issue. We are sons of D.A. Rajapaksa. We were born in Palatua. Palatua is where my mother was born. So such people cannot be Americans. When you renounce American citizenship, you automatically become a citizen of this country. Now when a number of cases were filed, some asked me if this attempt by them would be successful. This is the situation in the country. We will fire the first shot to defeat this government. The second shot will definitely be fired during the upcoming general election. We will not mention when the president will decide that.
තුල අපි ඉටු කරන්න යනවා. කවදාද කියන එක අපි කියන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක ජනාධිපතිවරයා තෝරගනි එදාට. තමුන්නාන්සලා දන්නවා. තමුන්නාන්ස
You know, even before you selected me as the presidential candidate, this government tried to oppress me by throwing various allegations and issues towards me during the past 5 years. Cases were filed against me. They were to imprison me. Blatant allegations were leveled at me. They have not stopped yet. Such allegations can be put against me even during the upcoming 3 days. Do not let them who condemn your intelligence blur your judgment. Vote for the flower bud on the 16th. Our victory is certain. I request you all to embrace that victory. Our challenge is to fix this country. We request you all to overcome this challenge. We have given priority to national security as well. I promise you all to establish a just and a fair state service free from fraud and corruption. We have presented a clear plan to rescue the country from the state it is in. Place your trust in me. My promise is to once again establish a secure, prosperous and a proud nation for the betterment of all of you.
මගේ යුතුයකම සුරක්ෂිත රටක් සෞභාග්‍යමත් රටක් අභිමානවත් දේශයක් නැවතත් තමුන්නාන්සලාට ලබා දෙනවයි කියන පොරොන්දුව දෙමින් මව්බිමට ජය වේවා පොහොට්ටුවට ජය වේවායි මම ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා ස්තුතියි.
මේ හැමෝම මේ වන විට උමතුසන් වරුසාවට අසු වෙලා ඉන්නේ. ඒ නිසා බලාගෙන ඉන්න මිනිස්සු කියන්නේ උමතුසන් වරුසාව එනවා තෙමෙන අයේ මහා වැස්සට සී විකල් වී පරල වෙනවා. පිස්සන් රජ වුණත් එකයි රජුන් පිස්සෝ වුණත් එකයි කාගේ ගෑනු කාට ගියත් අපේ නමට ලැබෙයි ළමයි කියලා තමයි අද කියන්න වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. මේ රටට
For a secure and prosperous nation, may the flower bud win and Gotabaya Rajapaksa be elected as the president of the nation on the 17th.
ගෝඨාභය රාජපක්ෂ 10 වෙනිදා වෙනකොට මේ රටේ ජනාධිපතිවරයාට පත් කරන්න කියලා අපි ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා.
මේ පරගැති වැඩබැරි
Make preparations to celebrate the ousting of this government filled with rogues. We are ready to celebrate this victory.
කෝණන් අපිට කියන්නේ ඡන්ද පත්‍රිකාව දිග වැඩි හින්දා 17 වෙනිදාම ප්‍රතිඵල දෙන්න අමාරුයිලු. අපි මේකට කියන්නේ ඉවසුවා මෙච්චර ඉවසුවා තවනම් ඉවසන්න බෑ. 17 වෙනිදාට අපිට කිරිබත් කන්න ප්‍රතිඵල නොදුන්නොත් හාලුයි පොළුයි අමුවෙන් කාලා හරි මේ ජයග්‍රහණය සමරන්න අපි ලෑස්ති.
මේ මැතිවරණය ගෝඨාභය රාජපක්ෂ මැතිතුමා
Gotabaya Rajapaksa has already won this election. He will win 16 districts. You can witness that when the results are out.
දැන් ඉතින් බඩු ඔතානෝ ඊට පස්සේ ගියානෝ
උතුරේ අපට ඡන්ද අඩු වේවි.
We might lose votes from the north. We might get less votes from Kirinochi. Gotabaya Rajapaksa will not win out of those votes. Gotabaya Rajapaksa will win from the votes here in Homagama.
දිනනවා. ජාතිවාදී නොවන ජනතාවගේ අභිමානය එකට අරගෙන අද මේකට එකතු වෙලා තියෙන නිකන් අය නෙවෙයි භාවනා ගුරුවරු ආධ්‍යාත්මික ශක්තිය තියෙන අය මුරු රට පුරාම සම්‍යක් දෘෂ්ටික දෙවිවරු දසදහස් මුළු ලෝක ධාතුවම
අපි එන්නේ
We are from DSN and Naika's lineage. The elephant was created at our house. But where is the elephant today?
අවම වශයෙන් අලි බෙට්ටක්වත් තියනවාද කියන එක මම අහනවා තමුන්නාන්සේලාගේ. මම මේ ආවේ
I am here not to ensure the victory of Gotabaya Rajapaksa, but a grand victory. I wish Gotabaya Rajapaksa the very best.
ප්‍රකාශ කරමින් ගෝඨාභය රාජපක්ෂ මහත්මයාට ජය වේවා.
අපේ දරුවන්ට නිදාසේ
The people of this nation need a country where they can live in freedom. We are here to fulfill that responsibility. Despite the rains, we are here to fulfill the country's need. If we need such a country, the country should be only handed over to Gotabaya Rajapaksa. That I mention without any fear.
මේලා කියනවා. ඒකත් මෙව්ව වෙලා අලුතෙන්
බොරු සතිය මඩ සතිය අපි බොරු කිව්වේ නෑ.
We never lied to the people during the past 4.5 years. They are the ones who lied.
කිව්වේ බොරු උඩ බොරු උඩ බොරු උඩ බොරු උඩ රුහුණු කුමාරී යනවා වගේ චකර 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 චක් බොරු උඩ බොරු උඩ බොරු උඩ ජගදුප්පකට නිකන් ඩ්‍රම් එකක් ගහනවා වගේ බොරු කියන්නේ. අයියයි
17th is the first time that two brothers will become leaders.
17 වෙනිදා
හෙරණ අපේ විරුවා මව්බිමට පෙමින් සැවදා රට රකින්න කෙනෙක් වේනම් ඒ ඔබයි උතුම් මිනිසා.
The presidential candidate of the National People's Power, Anura Kumara Disanayaka, held his final public rally yesterday in Maharagama.
The final rally was held with the participation of intellectuals, artists, civil activists and party members.
දෙදස් පාලය පරාද කර අප්පු හමිලාද දෙදස් පාලය පරාද කර රාජපක්ෂලාට දැන් ආය පරාද කරන්නගේ.
The Rajapaksas were defeated in 2015. Isn't it the same Rajapaksas who are asking to be defeated this time around? In 2015, more than 6.2 million got together and defeated the Rajapaksas. The UNP has no right to go around saying they defeated the Rajapaksas. Keep in mind that we have created a party that can defeat both those power camps. We have come here today to address the people who have still not decided to vote for the National People's Power and instead thinks that they will vote for the same old group. What is the reason that makes you want the Rajapaksas in power? What is the reason? Is it economic development that you expect from them? No. The Rajapaksas are the reason that this country is stuck in a debt trap. Think about the law and order and the rule of law in this country. Do you believe in it? No. They kept changing the police officers, and when they could have appointed individuals like Anura Senanayake as the DIG of the West, they appointed individuals like Mahinda Balasuriya to dismantle the process of the law. These were the kind of individuals that Mahinda Rajapaksa appointed to ensure the law and order of this nation. Why would you bring them back to power? Is it to stop disputes among the communities in the country and bring peace and harmony? No. They will be brought back to create disharmony and conflict. Keep in mind the Rajapaksas flourish in conflict. Zaharan and Sinhalese extremists were paid from the same defense ministry account by Gotabaya Rajapaksa. How can we understand this? We challenge them to come forward and say that they did not pay Zaharan. Keheliya Ramukwala admitted to this. After the April 21st attacks, we were filled with anger and sadness. That is human nature. But nothing happens on the 21st of April. After 21 days, attacks are carried out in Bingiriya, Minuangoda, Chilao. Several mosques are burned. Several Muslim businesses were destroyed. And one Muslim businessman was killed. How did this happen 21 days after the attack? This was planned. Two leading media networks were on with this plan. How did these two media networks report the news? They reported that this many swords were found in this mosque and that many swords were found in that mosque. Between the lines, they said that these Muslims have been planning on massacring all of you.
මේ පල්ලිය කඩුව අහුවෙනවා. උඹලා බලාගෙන ඉන්න එපා. එකරෙන් උඹලා ඔක්කොම සමූල ඝාතනය කරන්න තමයි මුල් ලෑස්ති වෙලා හිටියේ කිව්වා. කිව්වේ නැත්නම් වඳ දොස්තරලා ගෙනාවා.
Isn't that what was told? They bought doctors who were making women infertile. I met a CID official who was involved in that investigation. He said that 14 women made complaints to the CID that they were made infertile by this doctor. Now 3 out of those 14 have conceived. Where is the struggle against Dr. Shafi now? Where is that shaman? Where are they now? They were all brought together to create tensions between the Sinhalese and the Muslims and get the Sinhalese on their side. And when the elections come closer, they hide all of them. They hide the Mahason Balakaya and the monks. Now Mahinda Rajapaksa is going to sign the Mardu in Kalmune and says once Gotabaya Rajapaksa wins, they will make sign the Mardu a Pradeshi Sabha. Sign the Mardu is not even a Pradeshi Sabha. I saw that Basil Rajapaksa too had made a statement that when Gotabaya Rajapaksa is made president, the first thing he will do is make sign the Mardu a Pradeshi Sabha. They were the ones who fueled disharmony among the two communities to secure the Sinhalese votes, and now they are going to beg for Muslim votes. Their entire political agenda is based on racism. Therefore, I ask you to give me one more reason why you would bring the Rajapaksas back to power.
එනිසා මා හිතනවා තව දුරටත් එක හේතුවක් යන්න රාජපක්ෂ කඳවුර වෙත යලි බලය ලබා දීම.
මේ ජාතික ආරක්ෂාව කරන්නට බැරි වුණා.
These people who talk so much about national security failed in bringing justice to the woman who had 26 nails embedded into her body by her employers in Kuwait. These are the same leaders who decided to give a compensation of 35,000 rupees to a woman who slaved in Saudi Arabia and came back to Sri Lanka in a coffin, and decided to pay 15,000 rupees to a woman who comes back from working in the Middle East after losing a limb. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, it is the henchmen of these leaders who speak of national security and protecting the rights of women that abused a foreign national in Tangol and killed her husband. Also on this stage are the people who sexually abused a girl, slept with over 100 women, and partied using the taxpayers' money. This list goes on and on.
ජාතික ආරක්ෂකයෝ මේ ලිස්ට් එක තව දිගට කියාගෙන යන්න පුළුවන්.
ඔබ 16 වෙනිදා උදේ
We took on the responsibility of making this innocent child from Tamuttegam the executive president of this country on the 16th. You also have to do so. We are dedicated to obtain the power of the parliament next time around and make a real change in this society. May victory be with the National People's Power Movement. May victory be to Andhra Kumara Dissanayaka. May victory be with humanity. May victory be with the lion from Tamuttegama.
මනුෂ්‍යත්වයට ජය වේවා. තමුත්තේගම සිංහයාට ජය වේවා.
Now you've heard the final statements of three presidential candidates. On to another presidential candidate now. The final public rally of the National People's Power presidential candidate Mahesh Senanayake was held yesterday at the new town hall in Colombo.
Politicians, artists, experts and party supporters attended the rally. There can be only one family in this country and it should be named Sri Lanka.
ඒ පවුලේ නම ශ්‍රී ලංකීය කියන නම පම්මතක් කරනවා. තවමත් මේ වචනයක් අරගෙන
My duty should be the father's duty of the family. The duty is not to divide the country. It is unfortunate that they still speak about the 30-year war and national security. You cannot forget the history, but they bring that all up only during election. When they want to obtain power, they remind people about these things. They constantly speak about security. They are not trying to secure people away. They are trying to scare the people. Are we actually protected? We sometimes question ourselves. That's what they do. We shouldn't let that happen. If these are concerns related to security, I think I am also qualified to protect you. I retired on the 18th of August, so I know what has been happening to this country. There is no need to have hopes on those who left the country or the army. Not once I promised to provide things for free. Are we going to provide samurdhi or fertilizer? We didn't promise to give away anything for free. I won't say that because it is not possible. What I give you for free is a peaceful, prosperous and a beautiful country to live happily.
I'm a member of a political party that says it bleeds blue blood, but I never engaged in active politics. I never had the opportunity to speak to Mahinda Rajapaksa. I have never had the chance to share my views with any leader. It was clear to me that we need a leader who understands the people and who we can approach. I will work with this team very keenly.
A law should be enacted on everyone, including the President, Prime Minister and the Cabinet. We have presented our policies to ensure that. We found out numerous cases related to fraud and corruption. The most involved was the top tier of politics. But when they are presented before the law, they are made innocent. So the law should be amended in such a way where everyone is treated equally. So place your cross opposite the name of our unbiased candidate Mahesh Senanayake. If there is anyone else you prefer, place number 1 before Mahesh Senanayaka's name and 2 and 3 before anyone else's.
I make a humble request before you. Think before you vote for the corrupt politicians. Aren't they the ones who rob the country? Shouldn't we let them move forward? The two parties are with the corrupt who steal from people.
ඉස්සරහටත් යන්න අපි ඉඩ දෙනවද? පට්ට හොරු කොමිස් කාක්කෝ රටේ ජනතාවගේ මුදල් හොරගම් කරන නඩයන් දෙකක් තමයි මේ දෙගොල්ලම පස්සේ ඉන්නේ.
Let's now take a look at some of the final rallies of the other presidential candidates.
The final rally of the presidential candidate of the Janasatha Perumana, Venerable Battaramulle Seelaratna Thera, was held in Malabe today. We have come forward to save and protect our culture. This entire country was protected by the Buddhist priests and not by politicians. Empower us to protect and develop this country. Remember, they are struggling to come to power, to loot the general public. Do you think you can even approach them after they come to power? No.
ඔය බලයට පත් වෙන්න එන්නේ තමුන් නාදලාගේ සාක්කුවට ගහන්නයි කියන කමත කරන්න එපා. බලය ඉල්ලනවා. මට බලය දියන් මම රට හදනවා කියලා. බලයට පත් වී දවසේ ඉඳලම ඔය මිනිහාරි ඔය කවුරු හරි අල්ලන්න පුළුවන්ද කියලා බලන්න. එක එක්කත් අල්ලන්න බෑ.
The final rally of the Frontline Socialist Party was held in Kiribati. At present, the burning question is, will it be Sajith Premadasa or Gotabaya Rajapaksa who wins the election on the 17th? Yes, one of them will win and the rest will lose on the 17th. Do we need a country that works or a country that pays for all that we want?
වැඩ කරන රටත් සහෝදරයා සහෝදරි අපිට අවශ්‍ය කරපු වැඩවලට කැවෙන රටත් කියලා අපි ඔබෙන් අහනවා.
The presidential candidate of the National Development Front, Dr. Rohan Pallewatta, ended his propaganda activities in Gampaha yesterday. Many claimed that we will join one of the two leading candidates. However, we proved that we will not support anyone. We never betrayed the hopes and expectations of the general public. We will never betray them even in the future. We will always give priority to the economy. Meanwhile, the final rally of MLA M. Hizbullah took place in Kathankudi. You have seen an ambulance from the Batikolo hospital obtaining blood. We donate our blood to that hospital. Our votes are similar to the blood being donated to a dying patient. The votes I obtain will decide on who will become the future president of this country. Meanwhile, the final rally of M.K. Shivajilingam took place in Jaffna. Vindan Kanagaratnam had accused me of taking 15 million rupees. How can we take money from factions who murdered our people? If we do not receive solutions within Sri Lanka, we will solve these issues with the support of the United Nations and other international communities.
The final meeting chaired by former Deputy Minister Vinayagamurthy Muralidharan was held in Batiklo yesterday.
There is no doubt Gotabaya will definitely win. With his victory, we are expecting the release of Pillayan. That's our first request. Second request is that the people in the east should be governed by a Tamil. These are the requests we are going to make from Mahinda and Gotabaya. So use this vote as a chance for this.
The fast launched by Venerable Dr. Inguruvathe Sumangalathero was called off at midnight yesterday.
Venerable Dr. Inguruvathe Sumangalathero launched the fast last Sunday. After calling it a fast unto death, the Venerable Thero called off the fast, obliging to election laws. Following the inspections conducted by doctors, steps were taken to hospitalize the Thero.
Lasantha Wijeratna, a freelance journalist residing in Habaraduwa, Gaul, was attacked by an armed group earlier today. Lasantha Wijeratna, who sustained lacerations as a result of the attack, was admitted to the ICU of the Karapitiya hospital.
Lasantha Wijeratna is not only a freelance journalist but also an active member of the anti-corruption outfit. According to the media spokesperson of the police, 3 armed men had entered Wijeratna's house around 2:30 a.m. and had intimidated him and his wife by showing a firearm. We went to sleep at around 12:30 a.m. We heard the clothes rack toppling. We thought it was the dog. Thereafter, my husband went out. Later on, I heard people speaking downstairs. As I tried to get up, one person kept a weapon to my head and told me not to scream. I pleaded with them, asking them not to hurt my husband. I then told that he will not write any more books. They said they will come back. One suspect had caused an injury to Lasantha Wijeratna's arm with a knife, while the other suspect had caused severe damage to the property.
This person is a freelance journalist. In his statement, he has revealed that when he had opened the door and checked who was there, a group of 3 suspects had entered the house and threatened him and his wife by holding them at gunpoint. A television at the house has been damaged. His hand has been injured due to a knife attack. According to his statement, this attack had been carried out as a result of a book he has written. The identity of the suspects have not been ascertained. The Habaraduwa police are carrying out further investigations.
Several protests had been organized at several places in the island today opposing this attack. A protest which was held opposite the Fort railway station had been organized by the Journalists for Democracy organization. A woman who was returning after attending a political meeting at Battangoda, Palmadulla, has been attacked by an unidentified group. According to the police, the woman had sustained injuries from the attack and has been admitted to the Kawatta hospital. The woman is a 75-year-old mother of 2 and a resident of Battangoda.
Several instances of presidential election laws being violated have been reported.
Police seized a stock of posters that caused disrepute towards a presidential candidate. The investigation was launched following a complaint lodged by the Kandy district coordinator of the Jatika Hela Urumaya, Tushara Swarnatilaka, claiming that the posters were being distributed through a private courier service in Kandy. The stock of posters was seized when the police inspected the residence of a Kandy municipal councillor after questioning the courier service. According to the information I have received, these posters have been distributed to 3 places in 3 separate districts through that agency. We have received information that these posters have been distributed through all outlets of this private courier service situated across the island. They have planned to distribute these posters tonight or tomorrow night, according to the information we have received. One person who had been distributing pamphlets from door to door promoting a certain presidential candidate has been arrested in Veerakodiyana, Dummalasuriya. Police have seized 155 pamphlets which were in the suspect's possession. The police have also discovered 30 envelopes and a motorbike. The arrested suspect is a 27-year-old resident of Katuhenwatta, Veerakodiyana.
Voting for the presidential election will commence in less than 36 hours. Propaganda activities that took place for more than 1.5 months ended at midnight yesterday, while voting centers are currently preparing for the 16th.
35 presidential candidates put forward their views and mandates to the general public and together with their supporters engaged in election propaganda activities. As per election laws, all propaganda activities ended at midnight yesterday. We are currently in the 48-hour phase of hiatus.
Public rallies during this period are prohibited. They cannot visit houses for propaganda-related activities. The police will act strictly in this regard. If the law is violated during this period, we will enforce the law. If anyone engages in any prohibited activity, they will be video recorded and the recording will be presented in courts. We will identify the suspects and arrest them. The suspects will be produced before courts.
මේ සැකකරුවන් හඳුනාගෙන ඒ සෑම කෙනෙක්ම අත්අඩංගුවට අරගෙන අධිකරණ වෙත ඉදිරිපත් කිරීමට කටයුතු කරනවා කියන දේත් සඳහන් කරන්න ඕන.
All presidential candidates were allowed to maintain one office in every area with a polling station since the 7th of October. The police media spokesperson said operations at those offices cannot continue as usual.
සෑම ඡන්ද පොළ ප්‍රදේශයකටම එකක් බැගින්
The ability to conduct operations in the office that was permitted to be established in each polling area will end from midnight tonight.
කාර්යාල වර්ගය අද මධ්‍යම රාත්‍රියෙන් ඒ කාර්යාල පවත්වාගෙන යාමට තිබූ හැකියාවත් අහිමි වෙනවා.
Accordingly, with effect from midnight today, only one election office can operate within a polling area. Meanwhile, police have been deployed for security purposes, while officers were deployed this morning to areas with less staff, such as Kalutara and Colombo. A special security program will commence from tomorrow morning. What is the status on the preparation for the presidential polls? Let's take a look.
The ballot boxes and other material required for polling centres have been dispatched to the district returning officers. Officers will be deployed to polling stations from tomorrow morning. Everything has been prepared in the relevant districts to hold the elections. Only the officers need to be deployed. Ballot papers, ballot boxes, letters to officers, all of that is already done. I wonder why the government won't provide a health insurance to our officers. All these government servants are patients. The only sicknesses they haven't got is rabies, AIDS and leprosy. They come up with various excuses. All their parents are sick. All of them have children. There are some who actually cannot stay. If they are to look after infants, that is acceptable and can be considered. I can't break rest, I can't travel far, but if they get a scholarship to leave to Australia, all of them will go. I am not mocking or criticizing the state sector employees. There are some who come with great difficulty, those who come and work extensively, those who don't slip away. For that, there is not much of a punishment, just a 100,000 rupee penalty and a 3-year prison sentence. Newsfirst inquired regarding the preparations on district level to hold the election. There are 835 polling stations in the Kandy district. Around 13,960 officers have been dispatched in this regard. 110 counting centres are in place. 35 of them are to count postal votes. 75 centres are in place to count votes from normal polling stations. Polling masters who will arrive tomorrow at the polling centres will receive the ballot papers, ballot boxes and everything else that is needed. These will be provided from the Anuradhapura Madhya Mahavidyalaya. That is where the boxes will be received after the election as well. We will use the premises of the National School as a counting centre. 523 polling centres will be operated for voters. 17 divisional secretariats out of the 20 in our district are facing the human-elephant conflict. This time around, people will be given the opportunity to vote till 5 p.m. Therefore, it may be dark by the time the ballot boxes are sealed and sent. This is the same time elephants encroach villages. To counter such a situation, I have requested the Department of Wildlife Conservation to provide Grama Niladaris with crackers which would repel elephants. We have 712 polling centres. All the centres have been inspected by divisional secretaries and Grama Niladaris. They are all ready now. All the ballot boxes and stationery required are in place as well. We have rostered in excess of 10,500 state employees. Everything is in place. There are 475,176 voters in the Jaffna district. There are 89,538 voters in the Kilinochchi district. 631 polling centres have been set in place in Jaffna, while 3 and 9 polling centres have been arranged in the Delft Island and Nagadeepa respectively. We have decided to transport ballot boxes from the Delft Island by helicopter as it is situated far away from Jaffna. We have assigned officials for that task. The Sri Lanka Navy will transport ballot boxes from the rest of the islands. The votes will be counted in Jaffna.
The Department of Education said all schools will be closed tomorrow as per a request made by the National Election Commission. In addition, the Excise Department said that all taverns around the island will be closed on the 16th and 17th of this month based on a request of the National Elections Commission.
M Entertainment Private Limited, the exclusive territorial rights owner of the film Asterix, The Secret of the Magic Potion, instituted legal action today at the Commercial High Court in Colombo against ITN, seeking an interim injunction and damages amounting to 300 million rupees.
The lawyers of the law firm Julius and Creasy, appearing for M Entertainment, stated that ITN had violated their exclusive rights in respect of the Asterix film by the unauthorized broadcast by ITN dubbed in Sinhala on the 19th of October 2019. After considering the submissions that were made, Commercial High Court Judge Ratnapriya Gurusinghe proceeded to issue notice of interim injunction and summons to appear on the 2nd of December 2019 to ITN.
Today, an application was made to the Commercial High Court by Maharaja Entertainment Private Limited on the basis that the exclusive territorial rights accrued in respect of Asterix, The Secret of the Magic Potion, which has been granted to Maharaja Entertainment Private Limited, being violated by ITN. The case was filed on the basis that ITN had unlawfully broadcasted Asterix audiovisual work without obtaining the consent of the plaintiff, who is part of the Maharaja group of companies. The plaintiff in the plaint took up the position that the intellectual property rights in respect of the Asterix work was exclusively granted to the plaintiffs from the copyright owners who are based in France. The plaintiff also in the plaint took up the position that though there had been discussions and negotiations between the plaintiff and ITN and the meeting being held, however, ITN, though giving an undertaking, had continued to broadcast the Asterix work in Sinhala on the 19th of October 2019. When matters were appraised to the Commercial High Court today, the Commercial High Court, having considered the documentation confirming the ownership of the copyright or the exclusive distribution rights which were accrued to the plaintiff, proceeded to issue notice of interim injunction, and also the plaintiff proceeded to claim a sum of rupees 300 million as damages, and summons was also issued on the plaintiff, which is returnable on the 2nd of December 2019.
Let's now take a look at some news from courts.
The Attorney General was ordered by the Permanent High Court Trial at Bar to inform court on the 2nd of December of the future course of action the Attorney General would be taking against Niraj Roshan alias Ali Roshan and 7 other defendants. The case filed against the defendants for the illegal possession of 5 elephant calves was taken up in the presence of Justices Vikum Kaluarachi, Dhammika Ganepula and Aditya Patabendige. Delivering an order on the preliminary objections raised by Defence Counsel on the indictments filed against the defendants by the Attorney General, court pointed out it had decided the case cannot proceed based on the said indictment paper. Court noted the prosecution reserves the right to either amend the indictment paper or file separate indictments at respective courts against the defendants. The superintendent of the Valikada prison was ordered by the Colombo High Court today to produce Nissanka Senadipati, the chairman of Avant-Garde Maritime Services, to a judicial medical officer and submit a medical report on his health condition to court. The order was made today when the case was filed by the Bribery Commission against Major Nissanka Senadipati and Major General Palita Fernando was taken up in the presence of High Court Judge Shashi Mahendran. The duo are charged with a number of indictments, including soliciting a bribe of 35.5 million rupees to obtain approval for Avant-Garde Maritime Services to operate a floating armoury. Evidence examination of the case will commence on the 14th of February. The High Court judge ordered for summons to be served on 6 witnesses from the prosecution to be present in the court on that day.
In more local news, 8 people arrested by police for stealing and selling 3-wheelers were remanded until the 19th of November by the Hasdorf No. 4 Magistrates Court.
The Grand Pass police was tipped over a racket involving 3-wheeler theft and sale, and on the 1st of November, a man from Sedavatta had filed a complaint over his missing 3-wheeler. CCTV footage obtained by police showed a group of men arriving in a 3-wheeler, hot wiring it and taking it away. Thereafter, police was tipped the three-wheeler in question was located at a repair station in Ganemulla on the 12th. The owner of the site and 7 others were arrested. During the raid, police recovered 27 three-wheelers, 4 motorcycles, 4 three-wheeler engines and 12 number plates. The Sri Lanka police said this racket had been carried out for a prolonged period of time. Meanwhile, if a vehicle is stolen, one can inquire from the Grand Pass police. Police said inquiries can be done by visiting the Grand Pass police station or by calling 011 2421 414 or 011 2436 258.
The protest carried out by inmates on top of the Valikada prison for 3 consecutive days was called off today.
The protest was launched by 2 inmates on Monday against the presidential pardon granted to Jude Anthony Jayamaha, who was convicted in connection with the Royal Park murder. The following day, another group of prison inmates joined the protest. They staged the protest on the roof of the prison complex. The inmates who engaged in the protest demanded they too be granted the presidential pardon and the 4-year review be conducted. However, the group had ended the protest by last evening. Meanwhile, the Department of Prisons announced 267 prisoners will be released subject to a presidential pardon. Commissioner General of the Department of Prisons, TMJW Tennakon, said a committee comprising prison officials followed a process to select those who have been given a pardon. He added those who would be released are all above the age of 65 and were imprisoned for minor crimes.
Well, today marks World Diabetes Day, the world's largest diabetes awareness campaign, which is marked every year on the 14th of November, seeks to mitigate the risk of diabetes, paving the way for a healthier future generation.
World Diabetes Day was created in 1991 by the International Diabetes Federation and the World Health Organization in response to growing concerns about the escalating health threat posed by diabetes. Every year, the World Diabetes Day campaign focuses on a dedicated theme that runs for 1 or more years. The theme for World Diabetes Day 2018 and 2019 is The Family and Diabetes. Speaking to Newsfirst, Director of the National Diabetes Centre, Dr. Mahen Vijay Surya, shared these views.
The problems are usually threefold. One is the diet, one is the exercise element, and one is the mind. Here in diabetes, mind over matter is very crucial, and we seek to have a peaceful mind irrespective of the illness, accept the condition and carry on with our life in a normal fashion.
The older brother of Australian cricketer Usman Khawaja has pleaded guilty to perverting the course of justice and dishonestly influencing a public official after police accused him of creating a fake terror plot to frame another man.
Arsalan Khawaja, aged 39, was arrested last year after authorities were alerted to a notebook found at the Sydney campus of the University of New South Wales, which appeared to detail plans to kill politicians and attack landmarks in the city. Counter-terrorism police initially arrested and charged Mohammed Kamal Nila Nazamdeen, a Sri Lankan PhD student at the university, with knowingly making a document connected with terrorism. He spent 4 weeks behind bars before he was granted bail. Charges were dropped in October 2018, 2 months after his arrest. At the time, NSW Police Assistant Commissioner Mick Willing said forensic examination of the notebook showed irregularities between examples of Nizamdeen's handwriting and the handwriting in the notebook that specified the threats of acts of terrorism. Khawaja was arrested and charged in December last year with police alleging he framed Nizamdeen after a dispute between the pair. Police laid further charges later that month, alleging Khawaja contacted a witness through her brother and intended to persuade her to give false evidence in the case against him. Khawaja, who is in custody, will face the district court in Sydney on November 29th.
The South Asian Partnership Summit and Business Excellence Awards 2019 was held in Colombo today under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena. The gun at the movement was recognized and commended at the event.
The South Asian Partnership Summit and Business Excellence Awards 2019 has recognized the Gammad initiative as the winner of the best use of CSR practices in rural poverty, economic development and environmental sustainability. The SAPSA 2019 covers political, social, economic, financial and corporate initiatives from South Asian countries. Gammadda is a rural development initiative conceptualized by the chairman of the Capital Maharaja Organization, Mr. R. Rajamahendran, and is today Sri Lanka's most powerful community-driven movement. The Gammadda movement over the years has carried out in-depth research into poverty in Sri Lanka, but has also provided solutions to hundreds of villages with the complete support of the Sri Lankan people. It is pertinent to note that the Gammadda philosophy, which focuses on research and then action, is carried out in partnership with the University of Peradeniya. The award was accepted by the Vice Chancellor of the Peradeniya University, Professor Upul B. Disanayaka, Mr. Yasrat Kamal Siri, Director General Manager of Newsfirst, and representatives of the Gammadda Secretariat.
Time now for tonight's sports roundup.
Pakistan are set to host the Test series for the first time in 10 years against Sri Lanka next month. The two-match series will be played in Rawalpindi and Karachi on the 11th and 19th of December. Zakir Khan, Pakistan Cricket Board's Director of International Cricket, said, quote, "This is fabulous news for Pakistan and its reputation of being as safe and secure as any other country in the world," unquote. Senior athletics coach Yogananda Vijayasundara passed away while receiving treatment at the Peradeniya Hospital today. He was 75 years old at the time of his demise. Yogananda Vijayasundara was the founding director of Sri Lanka's Sports Medical Institute. West Indies batsman Nicholas Pooran has been banned from 4 T20 internationals after being found guilty of attempting to change the condition of the ball during West Indies' third ODI against Afghanistan on Monday. Pooran admitted the charge, which deals with a breach of level 3 of the ICC's Code of Conduct, and accepted the sanction proposed by match referee Chris Broad. He will also have 5 demerit points added to his record.
And that's a wrap of your primetime news. On behalf of the Newsfirst team, I'm Zeenat Mustafa.
And I'm Ravishulgal Bandara. Good night.